Read and react quick to make it early diagnosis. Hit you with the quick release like Marino Danny dopeness. Explosive change of direction in the true essence of Reggie Bush. From JT and ZT to DVP and AVG. Terminator to a quarterback Hunter JP. Steve Ross, the boss, King Flow, and card slinging gambling genius Slick Chris Greer.
Good morning to everyone on this fantastic Friday here before the Dolphins face the New England Patriots, hopefully not continuing their current ways, but get back in the winning ways and snap the 4-game losing streak. I'm Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphin Thirsty. This is, as always, my host, Justin, a.k.a. Digging in the Trenches.
What's going on, guys?
So, how are you out there in Colorado? My first question of every day.
Oh, not too bad, man. Just woken up. Nice outside today. Not too cold. Not bad at all, bro.
And good morning to you, Steve.
Morning,
Thank
Steve.
You. And I will watch more of. He sent me a good Facebook link of some old school Dolphin stuff. I didn't see it until this morning, though. He sent it last night, so looks like some good stuff. So, are you ready? Do you think Teddy's ready? Dolphin fans are ready to get back on running, but do you think Teddy will be ready?
He's a professional, so yeah, he should be ready to go. Let's hope he's ready to go on Sunday and just ready to play a good game, go out there, manage the offense, execute what's called, keep everybody in line, make all of his IDs, all of his pre-snap and post-snap reads, and hopefully we have a good game. I think he's ready to go.
Yeah, I know you want to run the football. Everyone's been wanting to run the football, so we'll see if they can run the football a little bit more.
That'd be nice.
Hopefully they're just well balanced. That's what you need in today's. And you still need to win in this NFL, as Tennessee's proven. You still need the vertical passing game too. You need a combination of both because they got rid of their best receiver this year, and you can see the Titans are hurting. So I think I'm with you. We need to run the block too, but we also need to keep that deep threat worries going at the same time too.
Right.
That's why if we can establish a running game, we're going to be a lot more dangerous than a lot of teams. So we could get hot, So yes, I hope you're right, Steve. I'm not going to say yes. I hope you're right. We're all hoping. That's what we are at this point because we haven't really seen the good Teddy so much this year, unfortunately.
Right.
So but there are disclaimers for him. So we have, I know everyone has excuses, but we do have some excuses for Teddy because he hasn't really prepared one whole week for a game. Because the 1 week that he prepared as a starter, the NFL decided to, all of a sudden he got a concussion hit that, he bounced right back up from, gave it a thumbs up, ready to go play, and they took him out of the game. Then the last game that he played the most in was he had been in concussion protocol all week. Got cleared like on the Thursday or the Friday. Skyler goes out injured against the Vikings and he gets thrown in. So maybe we haven't seen the real Teddy. So maybe he can surprise us. But yeah, fans have been disappointed with what we've seen from Teddy so far.
Yeah, I think one of his better games was when he had to come in relief style for Tua versus the Bengals.
Yeah,
I thought that was
that one interception
showing.
He did okay, but he threw that one bad pass which turned the tide of the game.
You're talking about the one that was the little glance route in the middle to Mike Gesicki where they were.
Yeah, there was a couple other people. Yeah, you can blame. So it's not really on him, but still.
You know what? That route right there reminded me of the one last week between Mostert and Tua where they were on the wrong page and Devontae Campbell picked it off over the middle. Kind of reminded me of the same play.
Yeah, no, it is. I just want to say a lot of times it's fall on the quarterback. Maybe when it's not all on the quarterback, but he gets the stat, unfortunately.
It's crazy because it's this time of the football season where things are really hard for coaching staffs and players and hell, everybody who's involved with the organization down to the concession stands, I'm sure, is having a hard time dragging their butts to work in the morning. And you know what? I'm going to give the fans, us, everybody, the talking heads, all the same credit. It's a rough, long season, lots of ups and downs, lots of peaks and valleys. And there's sometimes you got to battle your way through it and just be like, oh man, just keep battling. Like the season, we've had lots of longer, more terrible seasons than this. We're 8-7 right now. Am I right? we've had seasons where we went 1-15 or didn't even win like 3 games.
I think it's just the way we got to 8-7 because you're
I
sitting
know.
there at 8-3,
It's rough.
living high on the hog, thinking life is great, thinking, oh man, we were even thinking seeding and thinking now we're just, let's get that last damn seed and call it a day. But we were talking number 1 seed at one point. We were, so it's just
we were dreaming large, man. We were living large and dreaming even bigger.
Yeah,
and,
so
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, you have to, like I said, you have to enjoy it while you have it because you always know the other shoe may drop. So when it does,
right.
You wouldn't have been happy. So I was happy. I was loving. I finally loved the 8-3. I wasn't worrying about what happened. That happened. See, it happened, and I know I would have been the whole season. So at least I enjoyed the getting to the 8-3 part. But it's a gut punch. I admit, as a fan, and I can't imagine the players think so too. I just, we don't know what they're thinking, but I can't imagine they're happy on this 4-game losing streak, and now they're fighting for their playoff lives.
Oh, I'm sure they're not. Like, I'm sure everybody's. I've sensed the disappointment in everybody's voice over this. So, I mean, I know everyone's hurt over the 5-game losing streak. I mean, there's even people out here who are talking to me about it, like, damn, you guys are doing really good. What happened? I'm like, coaching. Lots of bad things happened. Tua's got
there's a whole bunch of things. I mean, you can say some bad plays, some coaching. It's like you've always pointed out the whole season. It's a whole team thing. When we're winning, the coaching gets a lot of credit. When we're losing, they get a lot of blame. Same with the quarterback play. Same with defense. Same with everything. When you win, everything's sunshine and ice cream, sunshine, rainbows, and ice cream, whatever. But when you lose, everything's dismal. And we've been doing a lot of losing the past few weeks against some teams that we really shouldn't have lost. There's some, some of those losses you could still wear your badge of honor, like Buffalo and the 49ers, but losing to the teams like, the Chargers and the Packers, those are just gut punches.
Right. I agree. I just invited Kendall Mack if he wants to come into the room. I shot him the link real quick.
Yeah, and that goes for any of you guys. If you want to join in, let us know. So that's good. See, you're working while you're working, so that's good.
I was just thinking it'd be cool to get someone else in. We'll talk some football and stuff, but it's we're also busy right now. Like, it's like we want to network and stuff, but it's hard to get to networking in time. Like there's just not enough time. Sometimes.
That's fine. If he comes in, I have you sent him the link. I'll look him up. Guys, if you guys let us know if you guys want to join. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Do you guys have any predictions out there? Give us your score predictions. If you think Miami's going to beat New England, lose to New England, let us know. Steve, I know he thinks we're going to win.
I'll give you a score prediction for the game if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got the Dolphins winning the game 21-17.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I went 20-17. So we are almost in the same neighborhood without any back script talk.
Holy cow, that's only 1 point.
I know, that's crazy. I find it's going to be a lower scoring game that our defense is going to have to help us win this one. Because we're going not only because of the backup, just how our offense has been trending lately. So I'm just hoping that it's going to be a defensive battle. New England's not a juggernaut on offense, so we should be able to compete in a defensive battle. So
I was thinking here a little bit later in the show, like, I don't know, 15-minute halfway mark, 30-minute mark, whatever, we'll do the matchups together. Like, I'll look at them right here with you, and we'll just break them down, and we'll go one for one. Right. You tell me who you got, I'll tell you who I got.
Okay, sounds like a plan. But I know you all
other than that. Yeah. I just didn't get a chance to match them up. I was like, oh, we'll just do it a little unique this morning, and we'll just do it together.
Yeah, we can run through that quick, keep these people interested and keep them coming in. So anyway, the game I know last night. Now, you know what's funny is Jacksonville, they might make the playoff. But, they're going to be Tennessee next week. Who knew that those two teams are? And I would have to lean towards Jacksonville if I had to pick a winner right now without.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, Jacksonville going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's like they started playing ball.
That's going to be really a gut punch. I mean, I know they got there differently because they're in the division that, like, if we were in that division, we would be in the playoffs. So I know it's still them. So at the end of the day, they would make the playoffs and the Dolphins don't. That's going to be like a hard one to swallow. So hopefully we get our act together. And all we have to do is basically.
Man, just got to handle business.
That's it. You have to beat your own darn teams, you know. So, and we have it in our destiny still, which is good. As bad as the 4-game losing streak has been, we still control our own fate as far as making the playoffs. Not so much as it's in control as we were, where we could have been way up there in the seeding, but we're still in control of getting into the dance, and that's all you want to do, because you never know what's going to happen. Never know.
You don't.
Yeah, we may get, you could get matched up against Kansas City, and right now it looks like we would get blown out of the water. But Mahomes could be off. Everyone is human. You could just never know. You just go in there and you play your best football, and you're capable of beating anyone on any given day. So
no, I agree. Let's get to the dance, and then we'll see what happens after that. Let's work on getting to the playoffs. Let's win this game versus New England. You know what? It's funny, man. I think as talking heads, as fans, maybe even as football players and coaches, maybe they started looking ahead a little bit too much and was feeling a little bit too, what I like to call, complacent in where they were sitting in the seedings and the standings. They were like, we're number 1 in the AFC East, then it dropped to 2, then it just gradually got worse and worse. And what I usually pay attention to during the season is somebody's points forced and points allowed number. If you can get that thing going into like the pluses, plus 50, plus 40, and then as the season goes on, plus over 100, like some of these good teams are, then you're legit, in my opinion, because you're beating teams handily.
Yeah, well, that's our problem. We never. A lot of times the Dolphins play to the level of the competition, unfortunately, even against the lesser teams, and then we're squeaking out some wins against lesser teams or whatever. I mean, there's been a couple games that we beat down the Browns, kind of beat down the Texans, but then almost gave it away in the second half. And that's what you've pointed out. Since the second half of the Texans game, the Dolphins have not been the same. So they just haven't, man. We need to get that mojo back, and I don't care. This is it. I mean, we're the better, to me, on paper, of course. We're the better team than New England, and we're the better team than the Jets overall in the next 2 weeks. So we got to win those games. But unfortunately, the games aren't played on paper. So you got to go up there and actually play the games. Because if it was only played on paper, the Dolphins would have just beat the Packers. So is your boy Kendall responding to you yet?
No, not yet. But I think I'd have like somewhere like the Patriots having somewhere along the lines of 26, 27 bricks. And the Dolphins still would have 47. If you want me to be honest, like you've doubled. Yeah, your roster's doubled up what their roster even has the potential to be. You're better on paper, but are you better on the field? That's what it really boils down to, is are you better realistically when they step out there in between the lines? So
and you should be, though. I mean, you should be. I mean, we were better in week 1. It seems like a season ago now, and it basically is. I mean, that was the very first game of the season, and we beat them easy. It wasn't a sexy game. It wasn't a big fancy game, but we went out there and did what we had to do.
Seems like it was forever ago.
I know it does. So we beat them. So now, and I was so confident going into that game. Now, this game, I'm not as confident. And it's not only because there's a few players injured, but the New England has players injured too. So it's not going to be an excuse on any side. So, we just have to go out there and we got to play. But Steve, actually, and he's in our room today, he was –
Jump in here, Steve. Let's wrap, dude.
Yeah, he gave us a big list of –
Let's talk football.
Yeah, Steve gave me a big list of Dolphins that, of course, Armstead, has more injuries now, but, he's been normally playing through all these injuries. But Xavier Howard has made the injured list now, and –
they just made it, or they questionable or something? I'm looking at
they're questionable, but they're still, he hadn't even been listed, and now he's listed. So
everybody, it's that time. Like I was just saying, dude, it's that time of the year where everybody's struggling to get through to either the end of the regular season or into the playoffs to try to help to get a little healthier. But everybody that I'm looking at is questionable on here, including on the Patriots side: Jonnu Smith, Damian Harris, Jonathan Jones, Phillips, Ramondre Stevenson. Now, I don't know about Hunter Henry. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know if you guys have.
No, I haven't heard anything updated.
Or Devontae Parker. I haven't heard nothing about either of the two. And then for us, Eric Rowe, Craycraft, Chubb, Shell, Xavier Howard. All of them questionable. That's what I have, but I don't know. Like, I know right now on Orlands, they have a bunch of guys in red: Damian Harris, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry. I don't know what's going to happen with Hunter Henry. Maybe he'll be a game time decision.
Yep. Hey, guys, I just dropped a link if you guys want to join our show. feel
If
free to
he's,
click on the link and come in. But
I think
yeah,
Hunter Henry might have been in concussion protocol, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
have
sure
to.
how bad
Yeah,
it was.
I meant to do that. That's bad on both of our part. Normally, I look all that stuff up before coming in on our fantastic Friday
It's
episode.
rough. Like I said, we're stretched for time and stretched for
I know.
energy.
Yep,
So
exactly.
when you're pulled in
But
1,000 different directions, it's hard to it's hard
yeah,
to get everything
this one
in
I did
line.
see. He's been injured
Yep, Eric
basically since
Fisher. Yeah, since
he's
we
been
got him, that's
basically
weird.
he's been hurt the whole time we've had him. Basically, he
Yeah,
came in, but
that's
that's what
strange.
happens. He's been out of football. You start doing all that
Yeah,
training
it's
camp.
true.
I mean, not training camp, but practice sessions in the, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, football shape's definitely different than me staying in shape at home, jogging and riding my bike and running. You get all of a sudden playing with other professional athletes, and I'm sure you're feeling the pain in those practices. So hopefully, but like I say, yeah, I know that's a scary thing, Steve. That's the scary.
Is Armstead not going to play in the game?
No, I think I did not see that, but
Or
I guess he's
is he questionable or?
Steve, did you see any updates this morning? Because he was still questionable as far as I saw. But like I say, if I missed something this morning, then that falls on me. But as of yesterday,
I think you still have. He said
he has a
Fisher's
sore
hurt,
knee. He has a hip. He has a whole bunch of things. He still has the pec thing, of course, the toe he's been battling all year. But I didn't see anything saying he was out. So maybe Steve saw something this morning.
So then we'll have him ready to go. Fisher probably
because he hasn't been
play.
practicing, but a lot of times he doesn't practice. Okay,
you'll still have Brandon Shell. You'll still have, Greg Little. But also, if they wanted to promote, you could have Kendall Lamb as well.
And even Brandon Shell showed up a little bit though on the injury list
yesterday.
I
seen that.
I know, so it's brutal, but like I say, it's not an excuse because New England is coming in limping with injuries too.
Everybody's hurt,
and a lot of their injuries in the secondary. So, a lot of their injuries in the secondary, which makes me wonder if maybe the game plan is going to end up being passing again, just because.
I hope not, man. I really don't.
I know you've been saying run all season long. I know, my friend.
I'll tell you right now, man. They got a guy right back there to be my key indicator matchup. Right now, I'm looking at the defense, and that's Kyle Duggar. If you don't locate where 23, the strong safety Kyle Duggar is on every damn play, you're going to be in for a long day. I watched the last game we played. He ran through a couple times on our right tackle once Brandon Shell did get in there and literally just blew right by him and went in and made a play on Edmonds or whoever was trying to run the ball for TFLs. So you got to be ready for that. Yeah, Steve, I agree. It's that time of the year. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's nicked up. Everybody's dealing with something, whether it's family emergencies or drama or you're hurt and injured. Everybody's dealing with something, or they're dealing with their third concussion of the season and all the drama and family stuff that entails as well. So just imagine what's going on. Just imagine what's going on out there right now. I mean, honestly, and it's not like we're the only team that has this going on. It's every team. So.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of teams out there banged up and injured, and then normally the teams that do well at the end are the ones that were more fortunate and didn't get as banged up during the season and or become healthy at the end. They're able to maintain their playoff statuses and then get healthy going into the playoffs. Those teams, tend to rise and everything. So
yep, and the Patriots actually have right now, in my opinion, they have a player on offense who's starting to play better and rise to the cream of the crop out of that team, and that would be that Tyquan Thornton, number 11. He seems to be one of their trigger man they like to use for explosive plays, get him the ball in space, and he does the rest. So you got to watch out for this kid because he's good, and he will have you out there running around chasing him all over the place. That would be another key matchup indicator, in my opinion, is you got to keep your eye on that Thornton kid, number 11. So on offense and defense, there's two matchups right there that you figure who's going to match up against Duggar. Oh, God. I'll take Duggar. It's going to be Mike Gesicki and Durham Smythe and the rest of our no-name tight ends.
Yeah,
versus Duggar. I'm going to take Duggar right there because I've liked that kid's game since he came out of Lenore Ryan. I scouted him heavily. He was a prospect that I would have loved to have picked up. And when the Patriots ended up with him, I was like, oh, damn. Just like when the Jets got Quinn Williams, I was like, oh, damn, that's the guy I wanted to get. The guys like that, when they go to the enemy, you're like, dude, no.
And the thing with New England, you got to be careful before we get into all your individual matchups in a little while here. They're kind of like the Dolphins defense of last year and the year before, where they come up with the big play and either get points or put their team in really great score. So the Dolphins are going to definitely have to avoid the turnover bug. They can't be turning the ball over 4 times like they did against the Packers. There's going to be another L you're going to hang on the board.
Yeah,
so New England takes advantage of that. I mean, they make it. They get a lot of those big plays on defense. They may bend at times and stuff like our old saying, "Bend but don't break." But they come up with big game-changing plays. That's the only reason they are somewhat still competitive at the end of the year here. Because
I agree. I agree with you, man, wholeheartedly. Let's get this business out of the way. You're watching Dolphins Daily Live with Dolphins Thirsty Rob and JPF Scout digging in the trenches. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. We'd love to have you guys over here. After we reach a certain level, I think, 100, Rob? We're going to be doing a hat giveaway. We're going to give away a cap, a Dolphins hat, or maybe like a beanie or something like that.
And make sure you tell your friends and everyone.
You tell your friends and tell another friend.
Come find us.
That's right. And then pass it on to another buddy. If you want awesome Dolphins content as well, and you want to catch up-to-date Aqua and Orange news, old school quizzes, new school quizzes, Dolphins trivia, everything Dolphins content related, go check out dolphinsthirsty.com.
Thank you, Justin. I often forget to promote my stuff.
So do I, dude. I'm terrible about it.
So hey, but it's all good.
One of these days we'll have one of those ones on there where it's like, okay, now it's time to get into our sponsor of the show, Manscaped 2.0.
Hey, one of these days, and we appreciate you guys coming. There's a lot.
Come on over here, man. Let's talk football, you guys.
Yeah, I dropped the link, so hopefully they join. But there's a lot of people, in here, so that's good. Just some people can be shy. That's all. It's all good.
I understand, man.
Hopefully you get Kendall. I was hoping Evan. I haven't invited Evan, but he hasn't come up yet. I'm gonna have to tell Evan, man.
People probably get a little busy in the morning times.
Yeah, I know. Okay. It's tough in the morning, but for our schedules, you and I, this is the best time to do a show.
It is. But as long as the Dolphins come into the game ready to play and they come out exuberant with energy, I mean, literally right from the kick of the opening kick, then I think we'll be ready to go. But it's really crazy. I've noticed this team, it's like it's either they're on or they're off. If that makes any sense to you. Like if they're in rhythm and things are working, I'll be able to tell right away, not just from an offensive standpoint, but from a defensive standpoint. You could just see the line of scrimmage kind of shift sometimes. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking for on Sundays. I'm looking for the Dolphins offensive line and the defensive line to have that paramount shift, to reset the line of scrimmage consistently. And then the linebackers to fill the holes, the strong safeties to fill those holes, the running backs to hit the holes that are being opened up. Like, I want to run the football.
I agree with you 100%, but which is weird because this past game against the Packers, they came out like they were a great team, and then it just fell apart. So it's weird. But so like it was kind of a it was like the whole season all rolled into one that game. Like,
well, it was really strange. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say the good Dolphins showed up, but then the bad Dolphins showed up all in that same game.
Yeah, you're right. It's so funny you said it like that too, because it's like we had bad kickoff coverage, then it led to their early first score, which was like a 90-yard return, and I was just like, oh man, these are the things you just can't do during this time of the football season in December. Like, you should have got all these mistakes out of the way in like September. And, like, you know what I mean? It's been bad all season.
Yeah.
You got to get people out. I don't care if you have to play some starters. Go ahead and get them out there, and people need to get out there and do it. No, not Manscaped. I hear you, bro. We'll take anybody.
Anything, Hey. Some of those guys read funny advertisements when they do their.
I was just giving you an example, bro.
I know. Hey, one of these days, Steve's going to be one of our spokesmen one day. So we'll
do Evan. We'll do one for Evan if he ever gets on our show. Now Evan's blinds. No.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
we'll pipe your blind company, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Evan. We know you're out there somewhere. But anyway,
he's out somewhere.
So that back to that Packer game, it was just like a mix of, like we looked like we were about to take control right before the second half. I mean, the first half was coming to a close. It looked like we were going to control the game. We get that one fumble, and then it was downhill. Up, Steve's coming in right now, man.
Hell yeah, get in here. Isn't it
Hey,
crazy
Steve.
too how that works?
Good morning.
Man? Morning. How's
So
it going,
how are
buddy?
you doing? How's Texas,
doing good.
Steve?
Today,
Has it warmed up?
Oh, yeah, considerably. Yesterday was 70, 75. Today it's supposed to be about the same. So, yeah.
Damn, that's beautiful.
I'm happy about that. I can't
bet.
stand the cold weather, man. I'm sorry. I've lived in it before, and I don't like it.
Really? Up here, I'm the opposite. I don't like the hot weather, and I can stand the cold weather because I can put on a hoodie and stuff, but I can't strip my skin off. So
I hear you.
Well, you don't get too many hot days in Colorado. Well, I guess in the summer it gets really hot.
Oh man,
there.
it actually stays quite seasonably warm.
Dude,
I know in Texas.
hot.
I know you, Steve. In Texas, there's a thing in Texas heat, so I know you get.
It gets hot in Colorado because I was there back in a few. Oh man, when I was like 12 or 13, I played in a tennis tournament. Because I used to play tournament tennis when I was younger.
Oh, wow. Look at you, man. Learning
that's
something
cool.
about you.
Some John McEnroe. You were like the old McEnroe. It's in. I told you it's in.
Rod Laver, brother. Laver. He was my favorite.
Hell
but
yeah,
anyway, I used to play tennis, and I remember I was there, and I even made the newspaper up there.
Really?
And, yeah. It was in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember it was like 102 degrees or something like that.
Oh, wow.
That summer. It was summer.
Yep.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
It gets hot here, dude, too. So
yes, sir.
It's a beautiful state, though. Love it. Wouldn't trade it.
I love
Wouldn't
my
trade
Florida.
it for the
So we all love our states. I love my Florida, but it is hot normally. We had a few cool days last week where it was actually cool. We actually hit the 40s a couple days. So, for us, that's like freezing. To you, you're walking out in your T-shirt and shorts thinking it's a nice day. But, we were freezing. So it was nice. I broke out some hoodies I don't get to wear on a regular basis,
So, Steve, what do you think about this Patriots-Dolphins game coming up? I mean, what do you think our game plan should be looking like from both sides of the ball?
Well, I think it should be looking like run the ball.
Hell yeah.
Like I said last week, we need to run the ball more, a little more dink and dunk, and then go for the big one. That's what I think as far as more of a balanced, of course, offense. Talking about the offense, I think Teddy's going to be just fine. He's a veteran quarterback. Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine. He's a veteran quarterback. He's been around the block. He's played in some tough games. So I'm not really worried about Teddy. I think he'll be prepared for this game. He really didn't get a chance the first few times that he played. He got hurt the first play of the game.
Right.
And he did okay in Cincinnati. Hell, Tyreek Hill had 150 yards with him.
Yeah, he did. He did good.
He can throw the rock.
No, he can sling it around a little bit.
Yeah, he can sling it around. So, and he can run. He's mobile.
Yep. He's mobile
too.
So let me ask you this, from a play calling standpoint, we all played our fair share of Madden and called some plays in our time. And you're watching the Dolphins call plays now, and just hearing you say what you said there we need to run the ball, and then we need to dink and dunk, and then we need to take our shot. It really kind of brings back how to set up and how to call a play and how to set up a defense. Do you think Mike McDaniels is utilizing that to his best advantage right now, the way that he's calling plays in order to set up bigger plays to extend drives?
To his full potential, no, I don't.
Neither do I. Not at all. I think you need to mix and match it a little bit better, like you were saying there. Maybe you dink and dunk like a swing pass on first down. Right. And then on second down, you're running it. And then on third down, you're actually throwing it out to the flats or something. It's just, it's too vanilla what he's doing. It's the NFL caught on to everything he's doing. And now it's a copycat league. So a lot of people just kind of maybe not copycat their whole defensive game plan, but enough to get them by.
Yeah, he just got to go back to old school football, man. That's all.
I agree.
He needs to watch some old school football, film or something.
Right.
And that's what he's got to do. Look, I've said it before. I like McDaniel. I don't want him to go anywhere. I think he's devised and designed a great scheme for this offense. Whether you like Tua or not, he has devised a really good scheme for this offense. And I think he's going to – I hope that he's the future for this franchise, whether Tua is with us or not.
Well, like my buddy Evan has said before, I don't know if you've heard him talk about this, but the one knock he's had on McDaniels, which I agree with, is I know he hasn't had time to prepare, but he should be preparing as he's going to be the backup or play in the game. That McDaniel hasn't had the backups quite ready to play as good as he's had Tua ready to play some of these games. And this falls on the quarterback, or excuse me, the head coach to have the backup quarterback, maybe even a third stringer, ready to play the football game. Do you agree with that statement? And do you also think that this will be the chance we get to see Mike McDaniel's true coaching essence, because you need to get the best out of your backup and have him prepared to play for this football game?
Yeah, I agree with you on the point that he hasn't prepared his backup quarterbacks. Look, he was put in a bad position, and I'm not making excuses either. He is a rookie coach, but he has other coaches on that team as well. So I don't put it all on Mike McDaniel's back. The other coaches and they were first. Hey, you got Darrell Bevell. He's not a first-year coach.
No, he's won a Super Bowl. He's got experience.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like what Steve is hitting on here might be a key point, because maybe it's more of a collective effort that's going on right there, that the calls are being called the way they are. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a part of the staff, but I'm just kind of like, connecting the tea leaves. Maybe Frank Smith does have an opinion on every play that's called. I don't know. Or he's just labeled the offensive coordinator just because that's his label, and Mike McDaniels is calling the plays. But
I'm sure they have some input, you would think.
Yeah, I would think so.
Definitely in the install during the week. During the week, for sure. Maybe McDaniel's the final say on, and maybe they're having debates, and that's why sometimes it takes so, Frank to be saying this, and McDaniel's, no, I want this, and that's why 2 seconds before the ball snap, we're still trying to get calls.
Yeah, there you go. That's another thing I was going to bring up, is the point that the offense that we're running is so complicated, one of the most complex in the NFL. Don't you think they would have recognized this from a collective standpoint, and thinking that they need to dumb down the language a little bit on it so they could get the play calls in a little faster?
I agree.
Get your pre-snap reads, your IDs out, make your slide adjustments or adjustments you need to with the offensive line, your motions, make sure everybody's aligned up correctly, because they're not able to do that now, like Rob's saying, and you can see it's rushing down to like the last second, and everybody's just getting where they need to be.
And that gives the defense an advantage when you're snapping.
It does, because now you're not aligned. I agree. It gives you a second of advantage, because now you're like, oh wow, they're a mess, but we'll just stay in cover 2.
And then they know they can rush a lot harder right on the snap, because they're not going to afraid to give an encroachment when you're going up there, and sometimes you go up in the line right away and snap the ball when there's still 15 seconds. They're like, holy crap, man, I wasn't ready for that. So
you quick snapped them. You went up there and quick snapped them, and they weren't aligned.
We very seldom do that. Aaron Rodgers uses that all the freaking time.
That's because they're aligned properly and have been in the same offense forever, so everybody knows where they're going to be at. Besides the rookie Watson, that's the only one they had to make sure is lined up correctly. So it's rough. And then when you start getting like the backups that come in or third stringers, you have to make sure they're aligned properly. So the more injuries you occur, which everybody has, then the harder your offense becomes to run.
Yeah. Now let me ask you guys this. Let me ask both of you guys this. Do you think that let's go back to the beginning of the year. Let's say McDaniel, he does have an offensive coordinator. Let's say he let him call the plays and McDaniel just maintain his coaching position. Do you think our team would be in a different position right now if he wouldn't have been calling the plays?
I've been saying this for weeks now, that I think maybe Frank Smith should have been calling some plays here and there, and Mike McDaniel should just be the head coach. Like a head coach just oversees everything. He's like, no, that was the wrong play here. I oversee that. We're going to punt it. That's the head coach's job, is to, oversee the offensive team, the defensive team, and the special teams. And when he sees all of those, then he puts them all together. He doesn't need to be doing everything. In fact, I think there's too much on Mike McDaniel's plate right now. I don't think our record would be any different, but I think you would see a little bit more continuity, more fluidity in the offense. Yes.
Of course, taking in effect that Frank Smith can call a good offense, but I agree. So hopefully he could. But like you said, though, our last 3 coaches, man, has been, that way because Gase was only cared about the offense. Flores only cared about the defense. Now we're back to a team that only cares about the offense. So we're always doing that same cycle of what back, I hate to mention because none of these guys deserve to be mentioned in the same breath. But Don Shula was an overseer, as you said.
Right.
Yeah, he played defense back, but he knew what was going on in the offense. He sat there. The same way there'd be no reports coming out that Shula didn't sit in on both offensive, special teams meetings, defensive meetings. He sat in on them all. And I know from players that talk in the past that you never know when Shula was going to walk in and listen just to the players talk in their film room. So, that's what we need. That's what I think, because an NFL coach has a big burden on them. And it's too much just to be the guy that's calling the plays. You should oversee everyone. Have a play caller that you can trust. Maybe he doesn't trust Frank. We don't know what's going on. Maybe he just doesn't trust him to call the plays. But he just, from day one, he said, yes, I'm going to call the plays, because he probably been his whole NFL career, he's never got to call the plays really. He had input and install. So he called some of the running plays maybe, but that's why. And now he just wants to show he can do it.
From the beginning, I kind of had this in my mind. Like, I remember when we first got him, everybody was like, check your pulse. And I was like, man, this kumbaya stuff is scaring me, you guys. Everybody's like crowning him and putting him up top. I was like, when the shit hits the fan, I want to make sure you guys are still singing the same tune here. Because I was like, honestly, like, this scares me. And the reason why is because what you just said, you're hitting on key points, dude. And it's like he bit off more than he can chew. Now, right. You're already like, yeah, I'm going to take the head coaching position. Yeah, and I'm going to call the plays. Bro, that's too much. You're a rookie.
Agree.
You're a rookie
Adam
head
Gase
coach.
Never overcame that.
And you're a rookie play caller. Choose one or the other. This is why I'm sitting over here right now. Like, I think something's got to be made, like a little minor adjustment. You're either going to go back to run game coordinator, or you're going to call the offensive plays, or you're going to be the head coach. So I'll give you 3 options. That's what I would give him if I was the actual owner of the team. I'd be like, no, this ain't going to work. It's like it's too much for you too quickly. Maybe once you're like 12 years into your career, you could probably handle that. Maybe even 6 if you're that great of a prodigy. But I don't know, man. I think it's too much.
Because he's coming from Shanahan, who does it, so he's thinking, if he does it, I can do it. But not everyone can.
Yeah, I just don't think he's Shanahan right now. Maybe he will be later, but I think he's got a little bit more growing to do to learn how to delegate roles. And like, if he's not comfortable doing that, he needs to get somebody who is, because it's not that, it's too much for him to handle as a rookie head coach.
No, I agree. And
I agree totally, and you hit the nail on the head, Justin. I totally agree with that. He needs to learn how to delegate.
Yes.
And a good coach, a good manager of a team, of a grocery store, it don't matter.
Anything.
Any business, you've got to know how to delegate, because you can't do it all. You just can't. You're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to. And that's it. Bottom line is he needs to concentrate on his coaching and trust his coaches, and to do what they need to do to be successful.
I agree.
Yeah. So
at least he hasn't pulled the Adam Gase yet and go sit on the bench while the defense is out there. He hasn't gone that far.
No, he hasn't gone that far. I think he's a little more involved,
Yeah, I do think he is, because you see him a little more active when the defense is on the field. So I do believe he's a little more involved.
Yeah.
But that's when he needs to be on offense. Here's the play. He can have his headset. He probably hears the defensive calls coming in. But, that's what he needs on offense. And, like, then if there's something like he's like, whoa, that's when he could step in and say, no, I don't like that play.
Sure. Right. Another thing, too, that they need to be doing, I'm sure they do this, but they could be doing it more. Like, I'm sure every team has, like, 10 plays they start off that are scripted from the beginning. Right, they're like, we're going to do these 10 plays to start the game. And I know for a fact they have to be calling 2 plays at once. So they'll give him one play, then they'll give him another play. Depending on the look you get from the defense at first, then you'll change to the other play, and they'll call out red dog, and that might mean go to the next play or whatever their audible is, whatever their call out may be for it. So I like how they're giving them 2 plays. I just want to see the quarterback utilize the 2 plays to his best advantage. If they're in a run front, go to a pass play. If they're in a pass look, then I want you to go to a run play. Like, you gotta be Bobby said, you got to be an asshole at quarterback. You got to just take everything they're going to give you, and then, like Steve said, then take your deep shot off of that after you've set them up numerous different ways. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then you can take your shot. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, you take what the defense gives you, man. It's just football 101, right?
Absolutely.
Now, go. I know you also mentioned about the two phases of the game coming up, and you talked about defense. Well, on defense, I know you got, this is not a very popular opinion, but Mac Jones is playing better football than we give him credit for.
Oh, bro, he's playing good football. Anybody who says differently, go look.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing good football. Don't sleep on Mac Jones.
Nope, I wouldn't.
But I would say this. I know we give Josh Boyer a lot of crap, and and rightly so. But he has a lot of injuries on that defense, right? Especially in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, the defensive backfield, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to, Brandon Jones, Rob, I know you mentioned this. He's a big loss.
It's a huge loss, bro.
He's the biggest loss of the year.
He's the biggest loss.
It's caused us to change the whole dynamics of our defense since he's went out. I've seen it. It's like we don't tackle as well. The coverage isn't as crisp. The communication is not as good. It's because they can't trust somebody like Eric Rowe or someone else to come up there and actually play that, what I call as a third linebacker. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've got to have someone come in there to fill that role. And I knew they were going to ask Javon. They were going to ask Javon to do it, but Javon is he can do it, but it's like now you're missing it's like we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, now we're losing the stuff that we got on the back end to get that stuff we needed in the box. It's like we're robbing places from other areas to get what we need. Like, Boyer hasn't been able to play his defense all season, which is a cover press style. And we haven't been able to do that because we don't have both our cover press guys. So you're having to change and adjust and play more quarters and more nickel and more, which we're going to do that anyway. But like, usually he would go out there and play what I call a 3-3-5 and play three down linemen, the linebackers, which would be three of them, and one of them would actually be a safety, and then the 5 defensive backs. But it's hard to play any of that stuff when you don't have what you need. You know what I'm saying? Ender, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Glad you came in and stopped by, dude. We love you, Ender. Fins up, buddy. Yeah.
Thank you to all you guys. But yeah, it's a shame because you can see like Collins not making the big, takeaways like we were all expecting him to this year, because if the Brandon Jones going out, so everyone's role changes. The Brandon Jones was a blow. I know we hadn't had Byron Jones all year, and we haven't had a few players, but to me, Brandon Jones was definitely the biggest loss.
It's rough because, like, in fact, it kind of triple compacted the secondary. In fact, you could say quadrupled when you count Brandon Jones going out, along with Nick Needham was out, like, I think either before or just right after that.
Underrated guy there.
In the middle of the preseason, right before we got ready to get started, dude, Trill Williams got hurt. The defensive backfield might have looked a little bit differently. Plus, Byron Jones hasn't been here all year. So, yeah, I will say, Steve, you're correct. He's missing key pieces that he had plans for now that he can't use, and they had to, mix match everywhere.
Right, so we can do some of the stuff that we would normally do. I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. And I don't know, man. I've been harping on this all year too. He's doing that cover zero just too much. And I think he's finally realized that he can't do that with the pieces that he has in place right now. And I think that's been the hardest thing for him to adjust to, was just missing those pieces. And I guess it would be hard for any coach. And mind you, isn't he a first-year defensive coordinator?
This is his second season, I think.
Yeah, he was he was under Flores, so he stayed.
Well, look.
There was debate whether he was calling the plays last year or not. That was the debate. That's my question. Right.
He might be, a first-year play caller as well, just like
maybe. You might be right.
So we don't know.
Instead of using that damn cover zero look, they should be using like a 46. use that old Buddy Ryan look.
I was gonna say that. That's the old Chicago
Yeah.
1985. Yeah.
I would throw them up because it confuses the guys. Then what you do is you send, like how they have two of them standing on the edges, is you send one, drop one, then you send all, then you drop one and send one, and like confuse them. Start swinging them out of the mix, like
Good
out
point.
of left field.
Good point, Justin. I was going to mention that too. They're not doing a lot of stunts up front.
Oh no, they're not doing. Nope, they're not doing no
cheat.
cheat.
Do that a lot more. I know. I don't know.
Yep.
Hey, even Nick Bosa, even the San Francisco 49ers,
He's right.
Nick Bosa all over the field, man.
We're not doing.
Not doing that. Just like we used Jason Taylor back in the day.
Yep. We're not doing no TE stunts, no double dogs, no gain twists. I ain't seen a lot of it.
Jalen Phillips is very capable of going all over the field.
Absolutely,
I think so. Yeah,
you could put him anywhere. You could put him anywhere.
And have him because he's relentless for one. He's quick. He's tough. So, we should be using him like as, oh my God, is he coming over here? Is he coming over there? I have the quarterback like worrying, like calling out 15, like they do, like keep an eye on him. We need that to keep him worrying.
I'll tell you what, dude, the first time I got my glance, just a little glance of an eye on that kid at a UCLA at a 3-cone drill, I was like, who the hell is this? I knew this kid was going to be a stud. And then like, I seen him play on the field and like, he plays with that energy that I like. Like he plays all the way out to the whistle. And he plays like that, like the call he got when he landed on Herbert and that call was shitty. Like he's just playing the play all the way out. Like what he's been trained to do his whole life. Like all those defensive
players
guys.
like that. Kristen Wilkin plays.
Oh God, he's so good, dude.
So we got a couple guys on defense that can be
Sealer, Wilkins.
Oh no, Sealer's always. He's no longer underrated. I think a lot of Dolphin fans though, because we always vote him as the most underrated, but he's really, I think, gotten a name for himself.
Man, I loved it when we got him too. It only took we poached him from the Ravens, and he played, I think, the next game versus the Bengals, and it was in 2019. I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? We got to sign this guy up. And then he started the next season. He started living outside in the Miami Dolphins training facility in an RV. I nicknamed him Zach RV Sealer, and then he just turned it on from there, dude. I was like, I knew he had it, dude. I just seen it in his game, dude. Like when they're getting that relentless pressure and they don't stop, dude. You're just like, that's the guy you need right there.
No, it shows. It just shows the NFL evaluating talent's hard because the Ravens are very good at. The Ravens are very good at evaluating talent, and to let him be on the practice squad to get poached is a failure on them, and they're always good at knowing talent.
Yeah, they are. It's funny you bring up the word poach. Man, I hate to throw a curveball on you boys here, but the 49ers are sitting on a quarterback right now that I wouldn't mind poaching at all. And you probably heard of him. His name's Jacob Eason. He's 6 foot. I think 6'5".
Is he 200 son?
I don't know if he's Tony Eason's son. I'd have to look more up into that. But the names do mix. But he's a big, tall, strong quarterback, big arm out of Washington. I scouted him heavily. I think I had him like my number 5 or number 4 that year on the board. He's got a baseball background, can make the side on all the angle throws. I would poach that kid off the Niners squad right now. I honestly would. I'd just do it, and then I would keep him for the future. It's a good insurance policy, something good to how should I say this? Even if you bring Tua back and you have Skyler and you have maybe someone else, you know what I mean? I'm trying to set up a quarterback competition for next year. Yeah, man. I would go poach that kid, dude. Honestly, I really would. He's just sitting on the Niners practice squad. He was on Jacksonville's practice squad, I think, earlier in the season. He's
not related. I looked it up. They said people always think he is. But that Jacob Eason, his dad's name is Tony Eason, but not the same Tony.
But not the Tony Eason who played Patriots.
I know. So that's why I just Googled it real quick.
I'm glad he's not. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I think the kid would fit, dude. He's big arm, can make all the throws. And the biggest thing that I think is the attraction about him, which is why I'm looking at him, is he can take a hit.
Yeah. And that's the kind of quarterbacks. That's the quarterback of the that's trending right now.
It is. It always has kind of. It always kind of has been like, I'm not gonna say the story's over yet because it's not on Tua, just because I know the guy is a warrior, bro, and something in the back of my mind is telling me that he's gonna go out there and play no matter what I think he should do. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I still would go make that move, like from a team perspective, like you got to go out there and cover all your bases,
No,
and you
I
have to have
agree.
contingency plans upon contingency plans, and like that's just the way I see things and the way I would do them if I was in charge.
I know the Dolphins actually had the quarterback. Steve had sent me the text, which is funny. I didn't pay it because I had seen like that Jake Cohn, whatever his name is, had come in.
Jake Cohen, yeah.
Cohen, yeah, Cohen. And then so I'm like, oh, I didn't even think much of it. But then when Steve sent, so I said, oh, let me go read down about it because Steve is sending it in. You know, I had seen it on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I don't even know that guy's name, to be honest.
Are you saying the Dolphins brought him in?
Yeah.
They actually brought in 2 quarterbacks for competition.
Is he on the practice squad, right? Did they sign any of them?
No, I don't know. That's last I saw. They just.
Who's the other quarterback they brought in?
Oh, geez, I can't remember his name right now.
So you're saying Jake Cohen was one of them, right? Here,
yes,
I can find out right now. Watch, I'll find out real quick.
Yeah, it was all over Twitter yesterday.
Yeah,
I hadn't really heard much about him.
Well, the Jake Cohen kid, I know who he is. He's the former Wisconsin Badger kid.
Yes.
He's got an arm. He can make reads. He played in a pro-style offense. He can play quarterback. Yeah. Other than that, whoever else they brought in, I wouldn't know.
I can't remember the other guy.
Yeah, Steve, you sent me the list too, but I don't know. I'll look at it later. I don't want to mess with my phone right now. Oh,
right.
Steve, what happened to Steve? Oh, there he is. But
here it is, right here. I got it. Yep, Jake Cohn and dude, hell yeah, Kyle Luletta. Kyle Luletta is a damn good quarterback out of Richmond, very underrated. He can also run a pro-style offense. I think he's got a little bit better of an arm, honestly, than Jack Cohn, who was he was a former Notre Dame quarterback and former Wisconsin quarterback. I think he was a transfer. They tried out 2 wide receivers too. Ooh, they tried out Isaiah Coulter, dude. Isaiah Coulter is really good, dude, and Tyreek Black. But I would have picked up Coulter for sure. But the quarterbacks I could see. But if you wanted to make a move at quarterback, I would go make the move that I said. I'd go poach Jacob Eason off the 49ers practice squad. You have to put him on your active roster, but who cares? Go drop one of the guys off the back end and put him on. You need him now anyway.
Sometimes on the last, especially teams that aren't, but we may have a playoffs, so we may not want to have to do that. Put a guy on there if we're in the play. But if we fall out of the playoffs, sometimes teams will go poach someone. People are doing
that right now. I've seen a couple of different teams already make moves like that.
Yeah,
but they're just planning for the future.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
I think it's a good move. I mean, I think they
need
to.
Too.
I agree with you, Justin. I think we need as many quarterbacks in there to compete as possible.
Absolutely, man.
You have an undisputed franchise quarterback.
I would draft one every year till I found what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's how I play the game.
Well, that's how the Green Bay Packers used to roll back in the day, So, I mean, one of their general managers was famous for that. He'd rather take a quarterback every year because he knew how hard they are to find.
Right. Right now, as it stands, the Dolphins have 5 picks going into this year's draft. Let me ask you guys a question. With those, we don't have a first-round pick. I think we have two seconds. Do we have? What are you doing with? What are you doing?
2/3, I think. I would have to look, but I think we got 2/3.
I think we have a second and then 2/3. It's something like that. But what would you do?
2/3.
What would you do with that first pick?
Wow, man. Well, for me. Did you want me to answer or Rob to answer?
You can answer first, and then Rob can go after.
With me, I would say it all depends on the Tua situation. Unfortunately, that's what I think.
You're looking quarterback already.
No, I'm not looking quarterback. No, I would not draft a quarterback this year for sure. Maybe in the later rounds, but not any that I've seen this year. That's me, but I'm not a good evaluator of college talent either. So you would probably be the expert in that field, Justin. But I would say we would use that is to,
this is in this.
I would go ahead.
Say this is, you could take this as an example because you don't know what's going to happen with Tua. Right. Say that Tua is still in-house and you're going to make that pick.
Okay. I would go for an offensive lineman.
Love it, dude. I love we're on the same page, me and you.
I would say
offensive lineman, maybe running back because we have no running backs under contract. So you want to? I know,
not a second round pick. I wouldn't pick a running.
I know that's the Dolphins' philosophy, but look what it's got us. So it's like
but it's crazy. I've been looking a lot of research into the running backs are loaded in this class, man. I even seen some that'll actually fall into the undrafted free agents that are good. So
so as long as you got some of those, because every year we always downplay play the running back, and we never have a good one.
Man.
This year, it looks like we got some decent running backs, but they're both free to go after
Right.
the season. So I would sign Jeff Wilson and Moser. if
So would I,
possible.
absolutely. I'll give you a nugget live right here on Dolphins Daily. Don't forget to smash and like that subscribe button. You're watching live with Dolphins Thirsty, my buddy Rob, and our good old buddy Steve Malloy down here. Don't forget to follow Steve on Twitter at Steve Malloy. Okay, he's a great follow. And I'm JPF Scout. You know this guy. But hit that like and subscribe button. We're growing here. We love to have you guys talk football with us anytime, any morning. But I'll give you a cool draft nugget right here live. I'll give you one of my exclusive, secret little scoop nuggets on a running back that no one's talking about at all and no one knows nothing about, and that's Northwestern free agent, or not free agent, but running back. His name's Hull. I think it's Brett Hull or Neil Hull out of Northwestern. Watch out for this kid, man. He's got sneaky good feet. He's quick. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a hard-nosed runner. He will be nominated on my All-Lindsay team. He'll be one of the runners up, or maybe he'll win it. Who knows? But watch out for this kid, man. I got a sneaky feeling he's going to make a team somewhere.
I said,
Okay.
what's his projected range? Do you know? Like draft
He's
range?
way
Agent
low,
or
dude. It's
late?
like he's right now, I think, out of all the running backs, out of everybody in the draft, he's like 335, 355.
Oh, okay.
He's way down there.
So what's his height, weight, and all that good stuff?
I think he's 5'11", 212 pounds. Here, let me double check real fast.
Okay.
I think that was it.
Googling. I'm trying to Google him too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's 5'11", 230 pounds, something like that.
230?
Or no, 212 pounds. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, if he's 230 pounds, he can't move the way I want.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was that guy that played for Jacksonville?
He's
ran
those
pretty- was
216.
Oh,
on-
you're talking about Robinson? Yeah, Robinson was a badass, man. They traded him, didn't they? They traded him to the Jets. That James Robinson, is that who you're talking about, Steve?
No, I'm talking about the Jacksonville ex-running back, Jones, Maurice.
Maurice Jones-Drew. Oh, yeah, that dude was badass.
He was a little
bro.
cannonball, man.
Yeah, he was. That's his name. Excuse me. It's not Brett or Neil. His name's Evan Hull. Hull, Northwestern, 5'11", 210
Yeah, I'm
pounds.
looking him up.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated has him as high as going as a 3rd round grade. So he's
No
got
way.
some-
Wow.
There's no way. If he did, I'd be really surprised, bro. He's ranked
I
pretty
just
low
put
on the
him up
board.
there.
Yep. Like that
Yeah,
kid
it
actually,
says-
I think, has got some good game, man. I watched him play a couple different games and was fairly impressed with his vision is really good, crisp. He presses the hole right up on his blocker. He's patient. He's quick, decisive. Good hands out of the backfield. He can block a little bit. So, you guys checked out any of that Kansas State running back though? That little short skeeter bug back there, that Deuce Vaughn.
Mhm.
This kid, man, I do something to get a hold of that kid for sure, because he's lights out quick, bro, and he reminds me of Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles actually went to the same college.
Oh, wow. There's a name from the past.
Yeah, that was.
Yep.
I remember.
In fact, Darren Sproles called the dude up and was like, "Hey, man, we got the same body mold. We're the same kind of player. This is what you got to do in order to get noticed." It's crazy, man. I think that Deuce Vaughn's going to light the league up. I think he'll also be one of the guys that's nominated on my All-Lindsay team list as well. He's going to be
I just dropped that link, though, so you could read about him being a 3rd on SI.com when I looked him up. I dropped the link for you. So,
all right, I'll check it out.
No, it shows that your eye is pretty good because they were showing all the good stuff. He fell out on us. So, Steve, what are your big plans today? You got the grandchildren coming over today?
No, not today. Just gonna do a little. Getting ready to head out on a trip. Gonna go down to visit my daughter and my grandson who just turned 2. We're leaving. As I was telling you, we're leaving Monday morning. So we're gonna drive to Richmond, Virginia.
Nice.
Oh wow! Enjoy, man. So
Heck yeah.
you'll be
preparing for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully, though, that the Dolphins give you some good news for the weekend. So you're not traveling in a grumpy mood. They don't want grumpy Steve. They want happy Steve. So
just tread lightly, man, and travel safe, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, listen, guys,
Absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and step out of here. I appreciate
Absolutely,
y'all having
man.
me on. Hey,
Anytime.
you guys are doing a great job. I enjoy listening to you guys in the morning.
Well, thank you. We're growing, man. We're growing, So thank you for hitting that link and joining our show. All right, there you go. The coffee. Grab that coffee and watch Dolphins Daily. I appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve.
We love you, buddy.
No problem.
All right,
man.
see you soon, Steve.
Out here.
Fins up.
Remember,
Dolphins number one.
Remember, Dolphins
number one. Hell yeah.
That's
right
your
on,
trademark. Thank you, Steve. So anyway,
right on,
yes, and you did your trademark falling out on the last minute.
I know. That's my trademark.
Yeah, I know. So, hey, it's all good. But that's a perfect time to wrap. Guys, thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us. Make sure you hit up JPF Scout if you need any Miami Dolphins gear. He's on Twitter.
Hook you up.
Any team's gear, really. But we're figuring if you're in here, we know you like the Miami Dolphins.
That's
so
right.
There you go. So anyway, Evan didn't show. See, you got me. I'm
Evan.
reading this guy. I always want to call you Evan, but today it's because I'm reading this Evan Hull I sent down there. I'm gonna go read about him a little more. I just scrolled down to where it went all the way to the bottom to see what round he was projected in. So let's see. So and they said third. So maybe other people are starting to pay attention to him now.
Maybe they are.
So anyway, final thoughts on the Dolphins. We both predict a win, low scoring win though, and yes, unfortunately, Mac Jones might be playing decent, but I think our defense matchup's okay against him just because he's not that mobile quarterback, and we've done okay against the stationary quarterbacks this year for the most part. So let's just hope the defense travels on the road because I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle this week. And, that's all I said 20-17. You said 21-17. We didn't do that scripted. We both just had more or less the same score come out at the same time. So
it's weird.
Hopefully, I would take it, man. Of course, I would take a blowout win when we're not worrying until the last minute of the game.
Same here, man. Like, my last thoughts on this would be: is everybody stay positive still? It's all not done yet. The season's not over yet. We're not
playoffs right there, still in our grasp.
Still right there in your grasp. But I will say this, Mike McDaniels, this is your chance to shine. This is your time to make people realize
quarterback, your back's against the wall.
This is it.
This is it.
So, this is it for you.
Come on, McDaniel,
pay attention, everybody, to the play calling that's going.
Oh no, I think I lost him. But yes, pay attention to his play calling. Let's see if he sticks to the running game, and let's hope for a big victory.
Is it going to be heavy run oriented?
Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Right,
man.
I see me cut out, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!"
All right,
that's right, man. Guys, run the ball.
Yeah, there you go. Run the ball and go Dolphins. Dolphins number one. Fins up
go
to
Dolphins.
All you guys.
First kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make an early diagnosis. Hit you with the quick